So that's what he's admitting here. Another Harry Jowsey lie.
Right, because it's not like people didn't just make that up out of thin air.
He did.
He did.
He did. He
Right.
said it. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to Membriash.
Welcome.
I'm Mitch.
I'm Ashley.
And today we're doing a weird one, which is watching Harry Jowsey's podcast talking about particularly the Boys' Day and Perfect Match 2.
Yeah. Dom also joins him.
Yeah, of course.
Of course. Because they're best friends.
Yeah.
So I've seen a clip or two from this.
I've seen nothing.
Which is, I think, what precipitated us watching it. Because...
Somebody mentioned on our comments, too, this is why I even know it existed. They're like, Harry just dropped this. I think they may have seen it immediately. They said, Harry dropped a thing. You should check it out. And yes. I don't think they were even saying do a reaction, but we're going to see if it's reactable.
I think it will be.
Yeah, I think it will be.
Because I've seen a clip or two.
Okay.
He appears to talk about Perfect Match and what happened with Melinda.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. And this is all in advance of the Perfect Match episode airing this Friday, where I've heard multiple people from the cast say that we will see footage that it was previously unseen. Yeah. And I believe it was released at the same time to them. So I don't think they had seen it before we will see it either. It'll kind of be like a... Kind
of a surprise. We are probably going to just do audio with like their faces and stuff on here because we're not sure. We're not huge fans of Harry and we're not sure if he'd copyright us. So we're just going to kind of not use a lot of this just so that he doesn't get mad at us.
Because the one thing we know about Harry is that he likes money.
Yeah.
So...
More than probably most other things. Hi, Harry.
Hey, Harry. You're probably not watching this.
Yeah, probably not.
If you are...
Look at these losers. You
right,
know,
yeah,
like...
exactly. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into it.
Okay, let's do it.
He can make a woman fall in love at first sight.
Do you know why? It's because he's 6'5".
Yeah, that's it. That's literally it. That's
tall. All he has.
That's...
All right, you naughty little possums. We're back with another episode of Boy...
I am not your possum.
The shirt I'm wearing says, I love gaslighting, because if you've seen the latest episodes of Perfect Match, I am a gaslighting king.
So he is admitting here to gaslighting Melinda is what it feels like to me.
Or he's joking about what people are calling him. So that could just as easily him being like, everybody says I'm a gaslighter. A ton of people are totally in support of him and saying that he's right. So, actually, he's very popular still.
I feel like this isn't satire. I feel like this is him actually being like, there's no excuses.
Yeah.
So, all the Harry apologists, he doesn't even apologize.
He doesn't seem like he's joking.
No.
It doesn't seem like satire, I hear you. Because he has no problem being horrible to people because it's making him money. So, he's like, yeah, I'm a gaslighter. It's paying my bills.
This is who he is, though.
Yeah.
So when people are standing up for him and saying, like, he's not lying, he's not a liar, I don't know where you're getting that from, because this is what he does.
And I didn't know about the Francesca thing, because I didn't watch Too Hot to Handle. He did the same exact thing with Francesca.
Absolutely.
Same exact thing.
Absolutely. He lied to the entire house about how their relationship went, and then refused to admit it when she said, no, that's not what happened. He completely refused to admit it. And then later he just kind of laughed about it and was like, yeah, okay, I lied.
Yeah.
I mean, that's his MO. It's what he does.
Today's kind of like a therapy session. We're going to sit down together.
Is this the therapy he's been going to over the past year?
He has a podcast. Is that his therapy? Is this the therapy he's been going to?
I'm worried.
Now, because me and Jess speak quite frequently, she did tell me whenever I speak about her and our situation on the show, because it's sensitive between us, I'm going to be very serious about it.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I think she has actually requested that he stop talking about her in their relationship.
Yeah, so sensitive meaning he's going to continue talking about you, Jess, but...
Because that's how he makes his money, so of course he's going to keep talking about it.
I don't like how Jess showed up at all in that last episode. She lashed out at the wrong person, but he set it up.
Yeah.
He told her in advance not to trust anybody, that they're all lying on him. He's like showing emotions. He's sad. People don't believe him. The entire season is him setting up her, defending him viciously.
He set up the dominoes that caused her interaction with Melinda.
He's in a way, he's a master manipulator. I will say that. And he masterminded that shit. Start to finish that entire season.
After that moment, I was leaving little notes saying I love you. And I think my mind frame in that situation was that everyone has some sort of idea of me. So I was actively...
He's explaining he knows the camera. He knows... He's always aware of it. And everything he does is calculated. Everything.
He literally said, he's like, I'm trying not to screw her over. And then he goes, but I end up doing it.
Yeah.
I don't know how there are still questions about whether or
I
not
know.
he lied. He did.
Yeah. And I don't even, I want to say too, and I was going to say it at a different point, but I don't feel bad defending Melinda even if she's wrong, even if she lied, because the evidence-based approach is to not trust Harry in every situation. You can line him up against almost any other liar and he's lied more. Like, I would trust anybody over him at this point, practically.
Yeah.
Someone left me love notes. I'm pretty sure she did, actually. I think she did start to return the favor.
He doesn't even remember.
He doesn't, well, he's drunk. He said he was so drunk he doesn't remember the show.
I also just don't think, I think he is so self-centered that he remembers what he did because it makes him feel good about himself that he did that, but he doesn't even remember what she did because it's not really their relationship that he's so interested in. It's like his own self-congratulations.
And they want to paint you a certain way, and everyone is a certain character. So a lot of the cute, like, lovey-dovey things that I did do for Jess just wasn't in the show.
They cut out tons, you know. They do.
It is true that they paint a picture because they're trying to tell a narrative with the show, but they just picked the most sensational things you did, and there wasn't room for anything else because you were such a jackass.
Yeah.
Like, that's not production doing that.
Oh, and
I
also want to say, because some people are like, it's a TV show. It is a TV show.
Yeah.
I agree, but you don't need to be as cruel as he is.
No.
And I do not stand by people doing anything just because it's a reality TV show. Could he have stabbed somebody? It's just a TV show. Ratings are wild.
Yeah.
No, he couldn't.
No.
There's a line. Don't cross it.
Absolutely.
And like emotional violence is a thing. I think he basically does emotional violence to people.
And then I think I said I wanted to do a blood ritual or something like that. I don't know what was going on with me. I must have been really in love.
I don't know. I wouldn't say that.
It's love bombing. It's
love bombing.
Whatever you think that the other person wants to hear to get them to be interested.
Jess asked, why do we match up every night? Is it because we're comfortable? And my answer was, it's because I'm falling in love with you. Now, was that smooth or what?
He is so into himself.
Yeah.
What is going on?
I am a self-proclaimed Olympic level love bomber. Obviously now, 27-year-old Harry isn't love bombing as hard.
He's admitting the love bombing. And he's saying 1 year later, he's a changed man.
He's now an adult at 27, not at 26.
Yeah.
That isn't appropriate after a couple weeks in the real world, not on a dating show. You know, dating shows aren't real life.
Dating shows aren't real life, but you bring yourself to them. And when you're so drunk you can't even control what you're doing, we do get to see you on the show.
Yeah.
Even if you're trying to put up a front, you're not doing it great anymore. The problem with all of this is that when he was on the show, he was saying the same stuff. He was like, I've been to therapy. I'm a better person now. I'm not who I was before. And he's using the same lines now. And how are we supposed to believe you?
Well, he is talking a lot about how terrible he is. He's admitting it. But there's so many people that would watch this and just be like, Harry's so great. Look, he's being honest. They wouldn't even hear the words that he's saying, which is that he's a gaslighter and a love bomber, which are both toxic traits. They're not cute. Love bombing is a way people manipulate people.
As you guys can imagine, on reality TV, they need drama. Like, you need drama or you don't have a show.
The whole reason he's there. It's true they do need drama, and that's why he has a job.
If you put interesting people in a house, you're going to get that anyway, though.
Yeah.
I hate people like this that cause more unnecessary drama than is needed.
Yeah.
You can see on shows where you don't have people like this.
Well, like even Love is Blind is a better example where there's tons of drama, but it's usually just some kind of weird situations people are navigating.
Absolutely.
For the most part.
And even the first season of that had a ton of drama.
Yeah.
And some of that drama is like, are they going to be together? It's already there. You don't need to arbitrarily increase it.
I want to talk about what happened at the boys' day with Melinda. Now, there's no hard feelings between me and Melinda. Anytime I've seen her, everything's been good.
She's a professional. That's why. Because she knows that she can't go attacking him.
She put on Instagram, though, that he is awful and is like 10 times worse than anyone thinks. I don't think she's cool with him.
Yeah. No, but she's going to be cordial with him and because she's part of the Netflix universe.
Well, what does he expect? She's going to attack him? Like, that's not her anyway. Like, she...
Yeah, I get that.
I should have handled it differently. I should have held my own.
This isn't him being vulnerable, though. I just want to say that. That's actually a thing a lot of toxic people do, is they'll be like, oh, I shouldn't have done that, and they do it again. I shouldn't have done that, and I do it again. And I shouldn't have done that. It doesn't mean anything until your behavior changes.
Yeah.
So his words here mean nothing.
I also feel like he doesn't understand that the biggest problem is the lying afterwards.
Yeah.
Not really
the kiss.
No.
Yeah.
Come out absolutely sauced, absolutely sideways. Like, I don't know if you guys see my face when I see the girls. I've got goggles on.
It's pretty funny. I mean, in like a he's horrible kind of way, but it's funny.
He was clearly pissed drunk. Like,
Yeah.
we can all agree. We see that you were drunk.
There was someone on the team that came up to both the girls and the guys and said, hey, if you guys don't do anything or create any drama, we don't have a show. Like,
I mean, that's basically what Lachey's saying when he's even giving them their fun. The moment the girls are being brought in, you're all alone and all that shit. You know they don't even need to say it.
Yeah.
Harry knows what the gig is.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I believe the producers are in the background saying, okay, like, keep it interesting.
Like, participate in the show,
participate. Get out
basically.
there.
but I also want to add on to that there was no limit on the alcohol.
I do think they could benefit from limiting the alcohol.
Yeah.
I actually think they
think
got a worse show because they didn't limit the alcohol.
They were
Because
so
you can
wasted.
You can see how wasted, like Harry specifically was. He was barely functioning.
When Micah took Izzy and chose him at the end, he's glazed over. And he's
Yeah.
like,
I don't even think he knows what was going on.
He's like, yeah, sure. It actually brings questions of consent into my mind. Everybody's so
Yeah.
pissed drunk. Like, it feels really bad in my mind that they're facilitating this.
It's weird that Netflix
messed
hasn't
up.
learned from that mistake too, because The Bachelor did that when they sent people to Bachelor in Paradise. They gave them unlimited alcohol, and I believe now they have an alcohol limit because they had an issue with consent.
It's unsafe.
Yeah,
It's unsafe.
it's weird.
And it's up, and Netflix needs to do better.
That people that say they're doing this for the right reasons and genuine reasons, I lied to you.
I agree with that.
I agree with that, too.
Because it makes no sense that there's like a genuine reason that you
Yeah,
would go
I know.
on Perfect Match. I get
Of
that.
all shows.
I get that.
Some people get married on Love is Blind. They don't from Perfect Match, and they
Yeah.
won't. Well, maybe. Maybe Alara and Steven?
I don't even think it's an issue for me about the fact that those people are like going on the show for show reasons. I feel like he turns it into something else.
Yeah.
He then tells people he loves them. He then
Yeah.
tells people they're going to make a life together and have
And have
babies
babies,
together
yeah.
and all of this stuff. He's the one that turns it into something real for other people and then shatters them publicly.
I know.
You know what I mean? The show doesn't do that.
Yeah, it's true. He chooses to do that, but he excuses it, and he keeps on saying, my bad, my bad, my bad, but there's a reason I did this. He doesn't accept that you don't need to do that.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to make it that bad, Harry.
Like the carrying Melinda across the rocks, I don't think that was appropriate. Maybe a piggyback ride.
That's what you and I
Yeah. No, that's a... He should have done a piggyback ride, if anything.
Carrie
It's
versus
weird.
the piggyback ride Carrie.
It's a little different, I think.
Look at that and think about what would you do if that was you in that situation, or how would you analyze that a little bit different? Because
that is legitimately a thing that I enjoy about watching these shows.
Yeah.
Is even though these people are all out here for clout and whatever, you do see them acting like real people, and then you can see that and be like, would I want to carry myself this way?
And Harry's kind of almost saying, don't be me. There's a cautionary tale, and you can think about how to show up.
we were trying to make a good show. There's no excuse for it, but we were trying to have fun.
But he keeps using it as an excuse. He says there's no excuse for it, but here's the excuse.
Well, and the reason that it's so much worse what he did versus what everyone else did is the other people weren't sitting there being like, I'm in love with you, we're gonna get married and die together, basically.
Yeah.
Like, he did that weird stuff, and the other guys didn't do that. So then
He's the one.
when Chris is kind of hitting on Zan, or when Kaz is hitting on people, it's not, you're
None
not
of
as
it really
affected by
matters
it.
that much,
Because they
yeah.
are saying they love somebody at
Yeah.
the house.
Because that's how much liquid was coming out of my ass. There was no more juice coming out of my little freckle back.
Caboose. Could have said juice from the caboose. He really missed an opportunity there. He's not
did.
a wordsmith.
No.
I don't know how he charms people.
Because he's 6'5".
Yeah,
People
yeah.
just like his height. Also, he's the one that said he was doing that from anxiety.
I
On the
know.
show, he's the one that said that was the anxiety over, like, hurting her that was making him do that.
So it's even more manipulation we didn't even know about. He's saying
Right.
He's saying it was a straight lie. He wasn't concerned about her. He was food poisoned. So that's what he's admitting here. Another Harry Jowsey lie.
Right, because it's not, like, people didn't just make that up out of thin air.
He did.
He did.
He did. He
Right.
said it. There's things that is editing And there are things that you just said that, and there's a mic you saying it.
Listening to Harry talk is making me exhausted. Let's take a break.
And when Jess walks in the house and then she comes upstairs and she sees me in bed crying because I've turned into a fucking fire hydrant out of my asshole.
Didn't even care about her over.
So
It's
the
all
cry
for him.
because you were sick, which I also get because I've
Yeah,
been so
yes.
sick I've started crying.
Totally
before.
believable.
Right.
But then he twists it all into a way to manipulate her because
Right.
so what he's saying here is he's shitting himself crazy, right? He is the worst diarrhea you can imagine. He's unable to move. He can't go away from the bathroom because he's going to crap his pants. And she comes up and she's like, "What's wrong?" He says, "I'm sad I hurt you." That's what he is telling us. He's making it worse in every way.
And on a TV show, of course I'm going to play into it. And that's fucking silly because, again, people get hurt. And that's not what we want to do.
Of course I'm going to play into it. I don't think it's for the TV show. I think that's just his knee-jerk reaction. I really do. Because you hear people talk about him in real life and they say he's this person.
It's the same level of drama in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't feel like
It's
it's
not
for
just
a
a
TV
TV
show
show.
either. I feel like it's just who he is.
It's who he is, and it happens to work with these kinds of sensational TV shows.
Right. Do you know what worries me about men like this?
Yeah.
Is the more he goes to therapy, I worry the more he'll be able to manipulate like the tactics he learns at therapy.
I absolutely agree.
I'm saying?
Therapy for some people are tools to harm others.
Because it feels like he's talking about accountability right now. And it really feels like it's to get himself out of trouble.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Rather than to reduce harm on other people,
Right.
he's like, okay, I get out of this one. If I just say,
Yeah.
oh, my bad.
Right.
And we're fun guy because I've got a mushroom tip. I'm going to bring in my best friend, Dom.
Why do I hate him so much? Like, I hate him.
His jokes aren't even that funny,
No,
too.
they're not funny,
like,
but people laugh at him because he's 6'5".
because he's 6'5". That's just that's this entire podcast. It's just they listen to it because he's 6'5". Once you get over 6'3", suddenly you can just do whatever, and you say, "I'm
whatever
6'5".
you want. Right.
I'm 6'5".
Thank goodness you're only 6'1", you know?
Yeah, yeah, right. Because then I'd be a total asshole otherwise.
Or any other people on the cast, just show them a little bit of love because like this is a very scary time on reality TV.
Scary time.
I do think people
Go hard.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
go super high. And like, I mean, in a way we do too, but at the end of the day, like I think we're analyzing like very specific interactions that people are having and very specific things they're saying. You're not seeing the whole of the person.
Yeah, I agree.
And like people get vicious.
They get vicious and they'll
online.
do death threats and stuff.
Yeah,
I don't. He talked about people going like getting mad at him in the comments and stuff. Like I don't condone people even coming onto his podcast and on
No.
him. We're doing something different. We have our own environment where we talk about people's behaviors.
Yeah.
And they choose to come here. But we're not
Also-
going to them and saying you suck, you suck, you suck.
Also, probably a fair time to say anything that is like fully abusive that gets put in the comments, even if it's about someone else,
Yeah.
we delete.
We delete
And
abusive
it
comments.
doesn't
yeah.
happen often, but occasionally we'll
We've
delete
deleted, like,
stuff
4 or 5
racist.
comments. Yeah.
We'll delete things that are racist. We'll delete things that are homophobic, transphobic. If someone were to like death threat someone like that, we're just that's not.
It can
what
get
this
tense,
is.
but like I don't condone that ever. Because you can harass a bad person too. You can harm.
Yeah,
you can do
don't do
bad
that.
things to bad people that aren't morally
Yeah,
correct. You know,
right.
you're not fixing anything
No.
by death threatening these people
No.
or whatever. Yeah.
Well, we should have done something.
Well, I bought you that Chris Angel magic kit,
I guess you got his Van Cleef.
and yeah,
Well,
and we have these friendship bracelets too.
yeah, we got friendship bracelets.
It's
that
permanent. You can't take
come
them off.
their friendship is cute.
If
I'll
you
give
if
them
you
that it's
ignore the
cute.
way they treat women, them being
Yes.
friends, sure.
Yeah. And they have gone through a pretty unique experience that not a ton of people
Yeah.
have been through. They clearly have the same taste in women because
Yeah.
they've dated the same people before. So,
Yeah.
and you need, even like the worst people need somebody to like be able to vent to and talk
Mm.
to and stuff like that. So they have each other.
As long as they're not harming each other too, that's like what you're saying. Like everybody does. Like humans are social. We all deserve social contact.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there was a specific reason. I mean, I've said this before, but I did say no quite a few times in Netflix about coming back. I was like, nah, I don't think I want to. I don't think I want
Yeah, because he was a big draw. I think. I mean, his mole appearance was fantastic.
It was.
It made me a Dom fan.
Me too.
Yeah.
And he's pretty active on social media. He has a
Yeah.
pretty strong following.
Bigger than most social people. Not as big as Harry,
yeah.
but
Actually, I really like he does little Instagram reels where he makes himself into like SpongeBob characters or like Harry Potter characters. They're pretty funny.
it's cutesy.
He's
it's fun.
he's funny, yeah.
Like the vibes of the first season were way different than the second season.
Worse or better?
It felt more wholesome.
Yes, I agree with
It
that.
looked more real, even though I know
Yes.
there's a lot of reasons it wasn't, but
It felt more real. I think Joey and Carousel helped with that season 1.
Yeah.
Helped with it feeling real and like people were actually interested in each other and interested in dating. This last season didn't feel like that to
it
me.
feels like the producers went ape shit on the manipulation and then having Harry knocking everything around and
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was like, if everyone's here so genuine, why are you here? Why are you here? But it just
He's saying what Harry's been saying on this podcast too. It's
Yes.
everybody's there for clout, everybody's there for followers, everybody's there for
Yes.
money.
Right. And for some reason, and I do agree with this, for some reason, Dom really got like the fall from grace, like villain arc over not being genuine while he was there. And it would be irritating if you're like, no one here is genuine.
Yeah.
That is so stupid, you know?
so in that moment I was heated that I was the target of like not being genuine.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take that on you.
It is a good apology because he did kind of stab his friend in the back in that
Yeah,
moment.
he did. And he just called Harry a dog. He said my dog, but
And everyone had some sort of idea of like what character they were going to play to maybe move through the ranks or potentially win the show.
It is a
we
game
talked about
at
that.
the
Like,
end of the day.
like you said, Micah must have had a conversation with Kaz. Like, we're going to be the together from the beginning couple, and we could win this kind of thing.
Yeah.
And people are definitely choosing how they're going to show up in the show.
Yeah. How am I going to win the show? How am I going to get
Yeah.
more airtime? Like, how am I going to make sure I stay? Absolutely. You can see that.
Jess is trying to be season 2 Francesca.
I actually feel like Jess wanted to be Carousel.
Carousel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think
Alright.
she wanted to come in and
Oh, you
be
talked
like
about the-
they're in love.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
And
fair.
like they're going to leave together and have a relationship
that's true.
after.
It's perfect match. Like people are gonna do what they want, what they have to do to stay in the house because you want to win at the end. There's a
Yeah.
winner.
Yeah, you
know
got to
what
go
I
on a
mean?
trip somewhere.
Yeah.
yeah, you're on vacation. Yeah.
They're literally talking about the fact there's no prize and you get to go on a trip.
Yeah. Yeah. They're like, okay. Yeah, they're making fun of the reward. Yeah, that's pretty funny.
But yeah, I don't have any regrets. You know, it is what it is. If I were to go back, which is like, you know, after it's been pretty traumatizing.
I don't want to laugh at his trauma, but
It has been hard for him.
yeah, it has.
Because he went from like everybody's darling to
Everybody
full on
hates him.
villain.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird given his arc. I mean, I could see why, as a culmination of Perfect Match 1 and 2, there's some problematic things with him. I don't really see the like angel to villain arc.
yeah, he's just
that-
kind of a guy.
Yeah.
honestly.
He's kind of a
He's-
problematic person.
He's got he needs to fix. So does every person on a reality TV show.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got to have something a little busted to even go on these shows. To be
Yeah.
honest,
Right.
right?
Absolutely.
Nobody
Well,
there is.
who among us isn't busted?
Yeah, but we're all kind of like we're doing this and we're busted. Yeah, that's a good point. It's not just reality TV.
It is funny though how much he cried season 1 and then him being like, "This is a fun show," and I'm like,
Right.
cue the like him literally sobbing in tears from season
Right.
1. Like,
Yeah,
Because you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't.
Yeah.
Like if you
you end up as an Elise Justin, or you end up like a Harry Jessica, right? Kind of, or you're somewhere in the middle and people are bored and don't care.
it's really hard
is
to
true.
come out of a show like that and
Look good,
look good.
or look
Yeah.
even like
And people, like we've seen, people
Uh-huh.
get frustrated with you. Even if you come, you show up, you do a great job, you don't hurt anybody, someone's going to be upset with you for something.
you're ugly, you're boring, you're
Right.
stupid. There's gonna be some sort of like
Absolutely.
drag.
Yeah.
It's all about competition and strategy. That's why there's also so much drama, because we know that there's a prize at the end, whether it's good or bad.
Whether it's good or bad. I love that they're dragging the prize. Netflix, what the hell are you doing? Honestly, it's not worth it. It is not worth
They
it.
don't respect Netflix, in my opinion.
Doesn't respect people.
respect any of the people that go on Perfect Match.
I don't think they respect anybody anywhere. I don't think they respect their staff. I don't think they respect the people that they put on their shows.
Just especially the
Yeah,
show of
yeah,
any of the
okay.
shows, they really are not. They're giving a bunch of people a vacation, but it's not long enough for them to form real connections.
Yeah.
It's not. The competitions are stupid.
They are.
Like, they're not good enough.
They're like every other episode. They didn't even
Right.
do that many.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And there's no prize.
Get
Do you
on.
know what they should do?
What?
they should have the house and then they should have the side house. And they should film them both. And the side house should be where all the rejects go. But inherently, you'll have the rejects getting together with the rejects. And that'll make it complicated because what if they get pulled from the side house to go to the main house?
They could call it Side House.
No, they shouldn't
Side
call it
House.
Side House. But I do think they should
Netflix, you can use that.
that because why just put them in a hotel room when you could get good footage from them? I mean, we saw Christine and Nigel have a connection.
Yeah, dude.
Right? Other people would have too, and it would have been nice
Was it Christine
to
and
have
Nigel?
that. Yeah, they kissed.
Oh, did they? Oh, like during that, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That would be cool. Why not? Missed opportunity.
I feel like that's what they should do. So then you're in one or the other of the houses. And then theoretically, you could have someone go from the main house to the side house. And then they have like hookups in each.
Yeah. Season
and they
3
don't
twist.
know about each other.
Do you know
what
that
I mean?
idea. That's messy.
That's messy.
That's messy.
Yeah. You want to have mess without even forcing them to make mess? Do that.
I feel like, what would you have to frame that around, like somebody having a secret family or something? Or what do you call it?
I think they used to call it Loser's Bracket.
Loser's Bracket! Let us know what you think we should call it. It's not our show. Well, Netflix should call it.
And we have no ability to produce this show, but I would
I think that's a good
watch
show.
the
If
shit
this
out
show
of
ever
it.
shows up, you know we made
Yeah,
it.
absolutely.
Intellectual property, motherfuckers.
She's very high energy and very this, and I'm very like laid back and I'm very chilled, and the interest just didn't align, and I wanted to explore things I was open about.
So he was irritated with her on the show, which is why he came off as irritated, because he was getting pushed. She's a much more extroverted person than him. And he's pushed in those scenarios, and he was just done.
Yeah.
Which, like, I kind of get, because I also am introverted, and I get cranky if I'm in environments where people are too excited, too high energy for too long. If I'm done, sometimes I'm just done.
Mm-hmm.
Do I agree with, you know, the way that you handled it in terms of like the gaslighting, the lying and stuff like that?
So do we feel for sure this is... I feel this is confirmation that there was gaslighting and lying and there was a kiss.
And yeah, Dom agrees that it was gaslighting. Yeah.
Right. And they're specifically talking about the kiss, which I believe is the kiss with Melinda.
Yeah.
The only reason this exists, it's not that it's a double standard. It's Harry set this up for himself by telling someone he loved them, which was nuts. And then saying that they were going to be together after the show, saying that he wasn't going to cheat on her. I mean, they had established a relationship that was way more exclusive than anyone else in the house.
Which is
why this happened.
And we just did the Ashley Madison documentary, and we talk about like what is cheating. It's really what you agree upon.
Absolutely.
And what is a relationship? It's what you agree upon. They established a relationship. They clearly did on the show. Real or fake, TV show or not, they established a relationship.
Yes. Which is why everyone was mad at him.
And it's why Jess is still mad at him, apparently, because he acted like a f***ing asshole.
Yes. Versus Nigel and Tolu kissing when Tolu had just said to Chris, go do your own thing, I don't care about you.
And they were playing a game. So she's clearly not with Chris.
Right.
She was playing a game. They kissed once. It didn't mean anything.
Right.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. And that's why we weren't upset, too. At first I was like, well, that kind of sucks. And you're like, well, they did break up. And I was like, okay, you're right. Who cares?
Yeah.
Versus Kaz didn't do that. That's why it matters.
And
it's
that's why Micah was upset.
Boundaries.
And what did Micah say to him? You didn't even tell me.
Yes.
She wasn't upset that he kissed someone else.
Well, she was.
She was upset
but she was,
that he didn't communicate to her.
Yeah. True. I think she would have been upset either way, but she didn't really have grounds to be upset if they were broken up. She does, because they weren't. Well, that was boyfriend material with Harry Jowsey. Episode talking about him and Dom on The Perfect Match. Kind of a general overview, although he admits he's a gaslighter. Dom calls him a gaslighter and a liar. Those weren't jokes or satire. It really wasn't. I mean, you can't trust anything he's saying, but like I can believe that he's a gas. I've seen it.
Yeah.
We see it.
Yeah.
So I
still believe Melinda.
Yeah, and I'm comfortable believing Melinda. I'm okay if I'm wrong.
Yeah, same. I'm alright if I'm wrong too. But yeah, definitely this would seem to corroborate Melinda and what we already knew about Harry, which is that he's a liar.
And we see, I still have all the same problems with Harry. I don't want people to harass him. I don't believe in harassment.
No, there's
not
acceptable
like in a legal
levels
way.
of harassment, which is like lobbying your government, and then unacceptable, which is like threats to random reality TV stars. Which don't do that.
So we don't feel that way about Harry or Dom, but I do feel like Harry is incredibly problematic as a person, and I hope that he can at least be good for his friends and family, because it sounds like he has love for his family, and it sounds like he does like Dom, and they are friends. So hopefully those are good relationships.
And people are just multifaceted. So even though I would personally not recommend that anyone date Harry Jowsey, It doesn't mean that he's not a good friend to Dom. It doesn't
Yeah.
mean he's not a good, like, son, brother.
He might be a good hookup
Maybe.
if that's what you're into.
Right.
Like that's what I think a lot of people like him for.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of people know the
So-
game. Although he twists a lot of them into believing that it's more than that, and that's what he does. So watch your ass.
Do you know what I think the most dangerous thing about this podcast is, truly, is
Yeah.
him almost trying to insinuate that he was playing a character or not being himself on the show
Yeah.
because people were telling him to create drama. That I don't believe,
I
because
agree.
we're seeing the same kind of behavior he exhibits outside the show, which plenty of people have talked about
Yeah.
and been frustrated with.
People he's known are like, wow,
Yeah.
he's gross and toxic.
And one of the things about these things is that even though Perfect Match is a trash TV show, and even though it's, they're being put in these wild scenarios, they're still bringing themselves, like their humanity, to the show, and you're still seeing how these people decide that they're going to handle themselves in this type of environment, and that can be extremely telling. And that brings up all kinds of things. It can bring up, what have we seen on the show already? Race issues.
Yeah.
We've seen misogyny. We've seen homophobia. We've seen all kinds of things
Love
that are like
bombing, manipulation.
yeah, love bombing, manipulation. Big things that absolutely should be talked about and are real life things that people face and real life issues that come up that you can talk about based off of this trash.
You can be on a trash TV show and still love bomb somebody.
Absolutely.
You can do all those harmful things.
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't take any of it away from me. It really
No.
doesn't.
And
You're
it
not.
doesn't.
You're not. It's not scripted. That's the bottom line.
Right.
If it's not scripted, there's real capacity to harm people.
Absolutely.
Even in scripted content, you talk about like when they're filming The Birds and like Hitchcock threw birds at that lady to freak her out and shit, or The Shining when that actress was harassed by who did that?
Stanley Kubrick.
By Kubrick into being literally terrified. That was scripted content. They knew what the gig was and they were still harmed. And then you say unscripted content where people don't even know what's real and what's not. There's massive capacity to harm people, and you see it
Yeah.
on Perfect Match too.
Yeah. There's capacity to harm, and then there's also capacity for the people that are watching it to get something bigger out of what they're watching.
Than what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And truly, you really do see like life lessons. You really do see like, how would I handle myself in this scenario? What am I seeing here? Is there like racism at play here? Is there misogyny at play here? Are there?
And the answer is always yes. Pretty much.
Yeah,
Pretty
usually.
much.
Right.
Because it's a reflection of society.
Even their conversation around double standards that's a great, like, big concept, important concept that got brought up because of their perception of the show.
Yeah.
So yes, this is trash, but yes, also there are these big things that you can talk about that are important to kind of like take away from watching these types of things.
I agree. And I think we have actually had some comments of people saying pretty much the same thing. It's trash TV, but we're talking about stuff. On that note.
So yeah, thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Join us this Friday where we will watch the final episode of Perfect Match 2. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get to see footage. There'll be confirmations of things.
Yeah. And then we'll also be doing Love is Blind Brazil, UK in the future, probably the mole at this point.
Yeah.
Got a lot of stuff coming up. So appreciate y'all being here. Subscribe if you haven't yet and you want to see all that stuff. Otherwise, leave a like, and we will see you this Friday.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
And then I got it knocked, and I started going,
Ridiculous.
all those tearjerker.
Hey, we're gonna go on a cruise this summer. You should come with us.